Hey everybody, it's Tori. Welcome back to Praying Hands and Walking Feet, the channel where we are finding our way without a compass or a map. Today's topic is talking about advocating for our children. How do we stand in the gap? When do we stand in the gap? When do we let them stand up for themselves? And when is it time for us as parents to step in and be on their team and be their biggest advocate? But I want to start off first by assuring you, the parents, that you are the person for this job. You are the only one who knows your child the best. The only one who knows your child better than you is God, because God gave you this child. They gave you these children because you are the best parent for them. He has equipped you and He chose you to be their parent. So whatever you are faced with, that you need to stand up for, that you need to advocate for your child, you are equipped, either within you or in your circle. So please take comfort knowing that this is something that you can do. You can advocate for your child. You can stand up for them. You can do what is best for them no matter what the circumstance is, because there is no teacher, there is no specialist, there is no administrator, there is no doctor, there is no therapist who knows your child better than you do, because you have been raising them and you have a relationship with them and God gave them to you. And so I want you to take comfort and take strength in knowing that you are the best person for them. Now, how do we use this power or skill or strength or whatever you want to call it? Well, we tend to like to teach our kids and equip our kids on how to handle their own issues, how to handle their own problems, solve them, resolve them, all of that. If you saw our video on sibling relationships, like, we are all about teaching them life skills and how to do things themselves. But there comes a time, there comes many times actually, when we as the adult need to step in and advocate for our children. Because there are times when, because they're children, they don't really, honestly, have a voice in certain situations. Whether they should or shouldn't, they don't. And so then, in those times, it's our responsibility as their parent to step in and stand up for them. Now, this might be with school, with teachers. Maybe your child is being bullied. We experienced that in our family with bullying and the teacher not handling it correctly and the administration not handling it correctly. And so we had to stick with it and stay advocates and stand up for our child and their needs, whether it be physical, emotional, mental, whatever needs they have. It's our job as their parent to make sure that those needs are being met by whoever is in their circle that we have enlisted to help us raise them. That includes teachers, that includes doctors, that includes therapists, that includes dentists, that includes friends and family, that includes everybody. It's our job to be our child's advocate for everyone in that circle. Sometimes it's hard because we don't necessarily want to rock the boat, or we don't want to seem like we are overreacting or overbearing or like we're a hover parent, or anything like that. But I have found that if you take a moment and just sit, don't react to whatever's happening, but if you take a moment and sit and think about it, think about your child, think about how your child feels about it or would feel about whatever is happening, and do they have a voice in this situation? Could they speak up? Would it make a difference? Or is that more your role? Do you need to speak up? And would that make the situation better for your child? Now, I'm not talking about being what they call now like a lawnmower mom or parent where you just blaze the path and your child doesn't have to come up to any obstacles. That is absolutely not what I'm advocating for or talking about at all. What I'm talking about is those instances where you, as the adult, as the parent, need to step in, like with school or with if your child has any special needs or needs accommodations. You get to become an advocate. Now, like I said earlier, you know your child the best. And so you do not have to give in to what someone else thinks would be best for your child. If you know in your knower, if you know in your gut that's not what's best, then keep advocating. Stick with it, because we were given that gut feeling, that mom gut or that dad gut, the parent gut feeling. That, in my opinion, that's a gift from the Holy Spirit guiding us into what we are supposed to be doing or not doing. And so when you feel that gut feeling, lean into it. Take that as a marker, as a direction to know that you're on the right path, or I need to keep pushing. We have had to be an advocate for our children with doctors not agreeing with our decisions or how we want to handle things. We have had to be advocates within the school system. We've had to be advocates with dentists and therapists, and it doesn't matter who it is. Standing in the gap and being on your child's team, being their biggest cheerleader, their biggest advocate, is so, so important. No matter how uncomfortable it is for us, because sometimes those interactions between adult and adult, when it's about a child, sometimes they're uncomfortable because everybody has feelings and opinions. But we as the parent get to overcome those uncomfortable feelings, because what happens in the end is we build a stronger relationship with our children. We build that trust that they know that we are always looking out for them, that we are always on their team, that we always have their best interests at heart, and that we will make sure that people treat them the right way, that people treat them like they are worthy and they are enough, and that they are capable human beings. That's our job as parents, is to stand in the gap and make sure that no one is going to walk all over our children. I know that it is hard. It takes energy. It takes being uncomfortable. Sometimes it might cost you some extra money. I know our most recent, the reason that I'm making this video is because we just had an incident with a dentist. Our daughter needed a dental procedure and was a little anxious about it. So we checked out a couple of different dentists, did our due diligence. We picked an office, but we hadn't gotten to meet the actual dentist who would do the procedure. But we had a good feeling about it. We all felt great. We'd worked through tools with her, so she felt great. And we show up the day of the procedure, and the dentist came in, and just the bedside manner and how he was speaking, we did not get a good feeling. I could tell that she was more anxious. I looked at my husband, and I could tell he was not happy with what was happening. And so we stopped. We stopped right there. We didn't just let it continue. It would have been easy to just roll it off and go, okay, we're just extra sensitive, let's just let it fly and see what happens. But no, what would that have done if this person doesn't actually respect our daughter as a person, doesn't listen to what she had to say, isn't listening to us, which was what ended up happening once we stopped and had a conversation. He was unwilling to listen. And it was clear that he was the expert and we were to just go along with it. Well, I'm sorry, but that's not going to fly, because we have equipped our children to know that they can speak up for themselves and that we will speak up for them. And so we did the hard thing and we left. We didn't get the procedure done. We left, honestly, not knowing if we were going to get charged for that appointment. We left knowing that now we were back to square one, trying to find a new office, which every time you go, you have to pay the consult fee and all that. So we knew that this decision was not easy, but we honestly, in our hearts, felt that it was the right decision because it built that trust with our daughter. Because we gathered her up and we walked out, and she asked why we weren't getting it done. And we said, you know what? That's just not the right doctor for us. And she goes, yeah, he wasn't very nice, was her words. And we said no. And because of that, we don't have to. There are no have tos. We don't have to stay with him. We don't have to let him do your procedure. We always have the opportunity to get up and walk away. which is something that we always teach our kids. It was a great opportunity, honestly, to go back and reinforce what we teach them in their skills that they're using with siblings and with friends, that you always have the opportunity to get up and walk away. And then when we came home, we had to tell the boys what happened and that we didn't get it done and that we were going to have to go to some more dentists and things like that. And so it reaffirmed with them also that you always have the opportunity to get up and walk away. And you always listen to your gut feeling, because that's the Holy Spirit leading you, directing you away from things that are not good for you. And it also taught all of our kids that they can trust us, that we are not going to put them in any situation that is not what's best for them. And so I would love to hear in the comments below, have you ever had any of these uncomfortable situations? Have you ever had to advocate for your child in any situation? And how did you handle that? Was it easy? Was it hard? Now, one thing I know that is hard is sometimes we don't have all of the knowledge to be able to advocate. And so look to your village. Look to the people who are in your life. Who is that strong advocate person who stands up for what is right? Because there are different personalities, and not all of us feel like we have it in us. I believe that we do have it in us, but not all of us feel comfortable or confident that we can stand up to those people who are in positions of expertise or something like that. So look to your village. I know that I have had people ask me to join them in school conferences to help them advocate for their child and what accommodations they need or what needs to be done so that their child's needs are met. And I'm always happy when people reach out, because that's using your resources. And I would love to help stand in the gap for your child. And because in that process, that parent is learning how to do it. They're learning what words to use. They're seeing how I don't accept no for an answer. This is what my child needs, and this is what my child is going to get. Our job here is to figure out how we are going to do that, because what is best and what is necessary is for my child's needs to be met. Not once, but their needs to be met. So I encourage you to stand strong in your position as your child's parent and be their biggest advocate. Doesn't matter who it's with. You being your child's biggest advocate is going to get your relationship so much closer and stronger because they are going to trust you. So I'd love to hear your comments below. And if you are liking what you're hearing on our channel about sibling relationships and resetting the energy and advocating for your children and all of these different ideas and tips and advice that we have, make sure you click subscribe below so that you don't miss any videos, and share with your friends so that more parents can take strength in their position as a parent and make this job a little bit more easier and fun. We're all in it for the long haul. See you next time.